Good morning, scholars. Today we're going to continue to work on our lap book. Got my dragon ship, gives me my inspiration. Look at all the shields this one had along the edges. I recently read that they would keep them there so they're out of their way when they are rowing, but it also adds to protection if they get attacked while they are on their longship. So I'm going to put that aside. Take a look at my lap book, my cover, material box, open it up. Got my Vikings are known for there. You're going to want to reread this daily, getting that information ingrained in your brain. So remember, we are going to use it for a quiz later on. I've got the Vikings are less known for their trading, their farming, their ironwork, so less well known, means people don't think of those things when they think about Vikings. They usually think about the fighting and the ships. Then up here we have the little booklet, Who Were the Vikings? We flip that open and it tells us they were the Norsemen from Scandinavia, which was Norway, Sweden, Denmark primarily, and Finland's up there. Farmers, shipbuilders, traders, and raiders. Talked a little bit about them trading for their favorite metal, silver, to work in. They believed there were many gods and goddesses. They lived in Asgard, connected to the earth, or Midgard, by a rainbow bridge. The king of the gods was Odin. The thunder god was Thor, the most warlike, and we know that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, named after the gods. Here's my map. I finished working on it, got it all colored in and glued into my book after I talked with you yesterday. I went back and I highlighted my title in yellow because we used to do that at school, so I just went back and made sure that I had that highlighted also in yellow. Got my compass rose, north, south, west, east. If it says we, you know you have it written correctly. If it says ooh, you know you've got to go back and fix that. I finished coloring Norway red around very carefully all those fjords into the craggy coast of Norway. Finished coloring Sweden. Finished coloring Finland. I went and colored in this land here. Russia and brown. I did the Baltic Sea, I did Denmark, and out into the ocean. So today we are going to work on this little part right here, written in stone. The Vikings wrote in what we now see and find sometimes runes written in stone. Inside I have my runes, and then over here is the one task you'll have to do today. So I'm going to close that up. Before I start with my rune stone, I'm just going to show you a little bit in this book about the Vikings, the voyage of the longship, and the writing and reading in runes. Right here it talks about reading the runes. Let's get that a little closer for you. The Vikings had their own written language with a basic alphabet consisting of 16 symbols known as runes. We have 26. Later, runic alphabets had more characters, so you might find some that have more than 16, depending on the area too. The runes were made by carving straight lines in stone, wood, or bone, and were used in various ways to assert the rights to a piece of land, to mark objects as well as buildings, and to commemorate the dead. So here is runic bone. This is a bone. The first 6 runes incised on this bone spell out Futok, the name of the Viking alphabet. So, and then did you know right up here, no written evidence. The only first-hand accounts that exist about Viking mythology are in picture form. Remember, a lot of people didn't write. in their own stone sculptures and wood carving. It was not until the 13th century that an account from both visual and oral sources, so both you could see and hear, was written down in the Edda, 1220 to 1230, a book written by Icelandic nobleman Snorri Sturluson. So a little bit about the runes before we go on and work with them today. So today we are just going to cut out these pieces, no coloring. We will have to write, so you're going to need a pencil. So I'm going to first take my scissors and I'm going to cut out my stone. Do not cut them apart. So I'll get this piece off, make it a little easier. And then I'm just going to go around. And you know what? Doesn't matter if it's 100% correct. Sorry, I always get out of the picture when I'm cutting. It is a stone, so, you know, it's a stone. But when you fold it, they're going to fold together. So I don't cut that in half. I cut around this. I'll cut that off. And I continue to cut around it. Making some little jigs and jags. When it does finish up. So if you need to pause your video to finish cutting yours out, pause your video. Recycle that. Don't toss away your runes though. Okay, then I'm going to flip this upside down. So this white part is showing. And I'm just going to fold it in half. And you know what? It doesn't matter if everything matches up. If you have some sticking out and you want to trim it, you can trim that if you want to. And then I'm going to open this up and it's like a little book right there inside. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my runes, this little piece of paper right here. I'm just going to cut that off. And then I'm going to have my alphabet right there. Again, I'm going to recycle those pieces. Now, if it will not fit in here, but it looks like it does, I'm going to glue that on there. So now inside my written in stone book, I'm going to have my runes. So I'm going to take my glue. I'm going to twirl it up just a little bit. Turn it over, put the glue on the object that I am gluing, not into the stone, because I don't know how much room I'll have. And I'm going to put it at a little angle. It seems to fit there. And then I'm going to take my glue, twirl it down so I'm not smashing it. Heard it snap, so I know that it is sealed and ready for the next step. Now again, today I'm wearing some jewelry to show off the Vikings were skilled jewelers. Silver, remember, they like to trade for silver to make their crafts. So I've got my little book, fold it in again. Yep, it's good to go. And then my directions for today is to write my name in runes. So using the runes, you can write your first and your last name with your runes. So I'm going to write my first name, which is Rebecca. So I'm going to look in here, and I know that we don't have all of the letters that we have in our alphabet. So I'm going to look for an R, and they're not in the same order. Oh, there's an R right there. Hey, that kind of looks like an R. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to mark it just like I do. I'm going to start at the top. R, doesn't quite come back. So there's my R. That looks pretty good, I think. Now some of them might not have your letter, or you might have multiple letters. So you might have to figure out, well, what am I going to do if your letter is not on here? I know that U, in some of them there's a W. I do not see a V, so I'm going to add V under the U, because in some alphabets U, V, and W are the same letter. And then also in some of them the I and the J, but here they have different ones. So hopefully all your letters are there. If they're not, write your letter in our English language. All right, so I got an R, gotta find my E. Oh, there's an E, it looks like an M. So I'm gonna make it a little smaller though, because I still want to make my capital. That was R-E. B is easy, it looks like a capital B, but just with pointed. So R-E-B-E, gotta make another E. I know it looks like an M. My name's pretty easy. C, C, C. No C's. But I do know that it sounds like the K. So I'm going to put, along with this K, a C. They might not have had two letters that make the same sound, so I'm just going to put it there for my benefit. So if you have a C, put it above the K. And then I'm going to make that R-E-B-E-C. They kind of look like C's. And I need an A. F. Oh, there's an A. That does not look like an A. Alright, I'll make a line down and then two lines coming off the top. And there's my name, Rebecca. Now, so you finish yours. Remember U and V, C and K. I'm trying to think if there's going to be something else that we might need. Again, if it's not on there, just write your letter in our standard English. I'm going to add my second name, and then I'm going to put glue on the back, and I'm going to glue it right under who are the Vikings. So I'm not going to put it right up on top. I'm not going to glue it way down here, but I'm going to kind of put it in the middle, because down here is where you are going to put your vocabulary envelope. So if you've got a small section, you know, you might want to use your finger, make it a finger width apart. That seems to work. I think I've got some extra room here compared to my other lap book. So I'm going to stop there. You're going to write your first and last name. If you want to write your middle name, you can. If you want to do the whole family, write your whole family. You might need another piece of paper, but it's up to you. Have fun with it. Glue this down, and then tomorrow when we come back, we will work on another piece of our lap book. So farewell, go out, do great works.